Sanjay, at most properties, you've got some awesome staff that have been with you an awful long time, but you don't pay them commission. Why?
No. Why? Because I learnt from my previous life. I used to work for a PLC that allowed me to earn 50% of my salary as a bonus. And we had managers absolutely, doing all the unethical things to line their back pockets to get 50% of the salary. And some of them businesses are no longer there. So for me, that taught me a big lesson of, if that's the culture you want to create, then go ahead and do it, but you will not be in it for the long game. And you know what? It also reflects and tells me even more that the crisis we had after 2007, 2008, with the banking crisis, was exactly the same thing. All them bankers that were giving out all the finance and everything, Fred the Shred and all these that were there, they're all in the vineyards because they earned them bonuses, but everybody else is now picking up the pieces.
Do you think this is a disease in a state agency, that, paying commission?
Well, I think it's not really a disease in a state agency. I think it's a formula or a model that's in a lot of sales industries and backgrounds, okay? And I just don't subscribe to it. There'll be people arguing and watching this and saying, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, because some of the best salespeople are ones that are on the biggest commission. And now, having said what I've said to you, I've got my own associate model where they're getting a bigger slice of the pie. But that's not really commission, it's just a bigger slice of the pie. What my views are, and these are my own beliefs and views, I want to pay people what they're worth. Okay, I don't want to pay you.
Well, there's a difference between an associate and there's a difference between being self-employed as an associate. That's different. I'm talking about employed people here.
Employed, for the last 14 years now, I do not have a commission structure in my business.
How do you motivate your staff? How do you go and motivate them to get the extra listing, to get the exchanges through, to get the mortgage appointments? And
you've met my branch manager, you've met my deputy manager.
Exceptional people.
Right? These ladies, they are not commission based. They do it because that's what they want to do. And they do that on the basis of knowing that I pay them and remunerate them, where they don't have to worry about, if I don't sell this month, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. That's not what I want. These ladies will tell you when they arrived, they took a pay cut to come to me because they came from commission backgrounds. Over the years, their salaries and what they earn now, they probably earn better salaries than even companies that are paying commission. But you know what? They don't get up in the morning thinking, I've got to go to work, I've got to sell that, because if I don't, my family relies on that.
So you're telling me that by not paying commission, you have happier staff who are not worried, not trying to cut corners.
It's a different culture. It's a different culture.
Do you think there's a lot of estate agents out there that are probably lazy and therefore just think, well, if I pay them, they'll bring the money in?
I hear all sorts, Chris. I've got my ear to the ground. I speak to a lot of business owners. I've had business owners in London, for instance, say, how can this is a big black hole I've created, yeah? When the market was good, the receptionist would pick up the phone for the inquiry, the property would be sold in 2 hours, and she'd be getting 9% of the commission. All she did was answer the phone. Now, to me, if that's what you want to do in your business, that's up to you. But in my business, I don't want to pay somebody to smile. I don't want to pay somebody to pick up the phone. These are fairly basic things.
But what if, let's say the property market crashes and you're paying all these big wages? What about that? What happens then?
Well, you've got to take the rough with the smooth, But the culture and the way my staff, my branch manager, they treat that business as if it's their own business. Okay, the only time the issue is going to be, as you say, is the cost. If the market changes, well, the market's changing. But from my point of view, in the last 14 years, we've gone through both, or we've never known the great market. We've only known the bad times. But we've still come out of all that because what we do is we focus on what we want.
You've mentioned culture a few times. Do you think you need Do you think that's the basis or the foundation of being able to pay no commission?
I think culture's a massive thing, yes, because they've got to share your own values and beliefs.
But
If
mindset,
they're not,
vision, that's
absolutely, yeah. If they only
what
get
Matt
out,
Giggs was talking about last week at the conference.
yeah, if they only get out of bed, it's like Tom Panos says, commission breath. Yeah, if that's all it is for you, then are these the people you want in your business? But that's a decision that's got to come from the top, and it's got to be the owners that've got to decide.
Do you think owners are lazy, or they don't take responsibility, or?
I think owners probably have created this monster and think, how do I get out of it? And they have that fear of, how do I stop this?
Keep feeding this monster.
Yeah, but there are ways around it. They can buy it out, just like corporates have done in the past. I know corporates have done this and they've bought them out. Or as a period of time, if they're losing staff, naturally the new staff coming in, you can wean them off it.
It's like a drug, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And don't get me wrong, some of the best people, they will get the commissions and that, got no problem with that. But equally, why aren't those people just being treated and being paid what they're worth?